Hi, it's Dwyer. GamblersAdvisory.com, a free site. BettingAngle.us, a free site. Today is Friday, January 28th, 2022. The fight has recently been announced. Let's talk about Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano. But first, remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Now, at first glance, this looks like a historical fight. Both of these women have taken on very tough opponents, right? Exceedingly tough opponents. Both of them are battle-tested. But I would argue that this fight actually is a mismatch. I like Amanda Serrano in this fight. I believe she's the only one in the fight with major power. I believe that she's going to be the one on her front foot with Katie Taylor, who needs a little bit of spacing, who likes to throw a jab, who, with only 6 career KOs, is hoping to win a boxing match, not a fight. Right? I believe Katie is going to find herself backed up against the ropes against one of boxing's premier card players. Understand, Serrano is extremely two-handed. She's fighting out of a southpaw stance, but she's extremely two-handed. Her right hand is lethal. She also is a master assortment of punches person. She throws every punch in the book. And understand, she's that rare fighter who is calm, like Andy Ruiz. She's prepared to tuck her real punch as the third punch of, let's say, a 5 or 6 punch sequence. In other words, she'll back you up. That first punch is often just to mark her territory, right? She's very front foot heavy. She comes inside. She'll throw a punch. Her real aim is to come back with that hand in a different place. She doesn't telegraph her punches. While her hooks are lethal, understand, she can throw uppercuts. She can have you guessing on whether it's an uppercut or a body punch. She's prepared to get hit to land her shots. Understand, here, an in-the-pocket slugger like this, someone who's determined to walk you down, is going to be more than willing to trade with Katie Taylor, right? Because Katie doesn't have a lot of power. Understand, too, that Katie Taylor is a fighter who sacrifices defense for volume, right? She'll throw a lot of punches, but she'll leave herself open. Now, that's not the best idea when you're fighting against someone as heavy-handed, and I mean heavy-handed, as Serrano. Put differently, Serrano has 5 times, you heard right, 5 times the knockouts as Katie Taylor. So I need for the viewer here to play profiler for a minute. Why is this fight even happening? Why is Katie Taylor risking her reputation in a fight where she could well get knocked out? Right? By the way, the bet I'm recommending is Serrano to win, hedged with the over. Why? Because I don't think Katie Taylor has the power to stop Serrano early. The only way I could see Katie Taylor winning this fight is if it goes the distance. Right? This is boxing. Fluky things could happen. A cut that, won't stop bleeding, could stop the fight in the middle rounds, but that's extremely unlikely. Serrano has never been knocked out. Never. Serrano has fought more than twice the number of fights as Katie Taylor. So what I see happening is a fight where Serrano wants to engage, right? Serrano's not there to be episodic. No, this is that fighter who wants to be constant, who wants a pocket to form, who's actually better in the middle of the exchange than she is at the beginning of the exchange. Also, Serrano has certain tricks. She knows how to tuck her head. She knows how to lead. She knows how to counter. Right? Again, and I know it sounds odd, in a fight being billed as the biggest female prize fight in history. But looking at film, I just find Serrano to be much more advanced. Right? Serrano, too, is playing a game where she looks easy to figure out. You notice it's left, right, left, right. But it's the punch selection. In other words, this isn't Joe Smith. No disrespect to Joe Smith, one of the light heavyweight champions, where I know it's going to be hooks. Left, right, left, right. Right here, it's a little bit more complicated. Serrano looks like she's going to go hooks. Left, right, left, right. But instead, it's a hook, a pivot, an uppercut. Then she continues throwing. In other words, you get hit in the stomach or you get hit in the chin. You're like, oh. Then she keeps throwing and you think, okay, I've got to guard against that uppercut. But that's not what she throws. She comes back with the same hand after throwing the other one, but this time it's a hook to the body. The punch selection is excellent. She's just stronger than her opponents. And understand, this is someone who's a 7-division champ. This is someone who's fought at different divisions. So again, let's be profiler. Why did Katie Taylor take this fight? For legacy. This is her moment. Folks, she's 35 years old. She understands. Now is the time to completely test myself, to take a chance at reaching the top shelf. Right? This is a career fight. She's 35, Serrano is 33. These women are very experienced. Katie Taylor did not take this fight simply for the payday. Right? Katie Taylor did not take this fight, more importantly for our purposes, because she saw something in Serrano's game that she feels she can exploit. This is not Canelo thinking about Makabu, or, more accurately, Canelo's trainer thinking his fighter could handle Makabu. Right? Let's remember, too, all the talk about Canelo, just a diversion here, Canelo spars with Frank Sanchez, the unbeaten heavyweight. If you believe that Frank Sanchez would beat cruiserweight Makabu, then you have to think that Canelo has a shot here based on styles. Right? Canelo likely can land his left hook on Makabu. Well, this isn't that fight. This isn't a fighter looking at the landscape, thinking, Benavidez, nah, I don't want any of that. Beterbiev, nah, I don't want any of that. Bivol, I don't want any of that. Why don't I jump up to Makabu? I don't want to deal with Demetrius Andrade. Let me jump up to this fighter whose style fits mine better. No, this is not that fight. Katie Taylor did not look at Amanda Serrano and think, you know what? Her style is tailor-made for me. No. That's not the situation here. I'm convinced the people around her had to tell her, Katie, do you want to fight this woman? Why is she fighting this woman? Because she wants to be the best. She's trained long and hard. She's 35 years old. The stars have aligned. Both fighters are available. If Katie Taylor wins this fight, she can ride off into the sunset. Right? She's unbeaten right now. She wants to know if she's really unbeaten. So she is picking about the worst opponent she could pick. Understand, were she to fight Claressa Shields, who also doesn't have Serrano's power, who, like Katie Taylor, has a jab and likes to flash the jab, likes to outthink you, wants to box you, not slug with you, Katie Taylor would have a better chance than fighting this woman, who's gonna walk in and say, look, you want to trade? Let's trade. And who's clever about it. The fighter Serrano reminds me of is Marvelous Marvin Hagler. You knew Hagler was going to get hit in fights. You understood Hagler in the pocket, and you knew Hagler wanted to be in the pocket. He wasn't there to beat you on his back foot. Hagler wanted to be in the pocket trading. But you understood in the pocket trading, even while Hagler was getting hit. You understood that Hagler knew punch sequence. Hagler knew how to keep you guessing. If you got on your back foot against Marvin Hagler, oh my goodness, you were in trouble. That's Amanda Serrano. So you have a fighter with 6 KOs. That's Katie Taylor. 6 KOs. Who wants spacing. Who's going to concede the front foot status to her opponent. Don't be shocked if Katie Taylor gets stopped here, folks. Right? Taylor likes to be the better athlete than her opponent. Serrano is an excellent athlete. Her power lasts the entire fight. She wins wars of attrition. She could also, of course, blow you out early. Right? This is that clever vet who is going to be rolling away from your shots while focusing on her offense. And of course, her offense is much better than Katie Taylor's. The bet I like is Serrano to win. Hedged with the over. That's how I see it. I understand there's another side of the argument. Tell us about it in the comment section of this YouTube video. I look forward to your comments. Thanks for stopping by.